Hi, I'm Cindy Carey with North Star Longarm Quilting, and I'm here today to give you a little demo on how to square your backing fabric for longarm quilting. This is a piece of fabric that I have. I'm going to show you how to square, and what I did before the video was I pressed the fabric so it's wrinkle free, and I'm going to hold it up for you. I've lined it up with the selvages up here that I'm holding, and I want you to look at the bottom. You can see how that looks folded and frumpy. And if I were to quilt this piece of fabric on the machine like this, you'd probably have those pleats and puckers in your finished quilt. And that's something we certainly do not want. So that's the reason for squaring. It's going to give you nice results with your longarm quilting. And as I'm holding the fabrics here between my fingers, I'm going to slide them, and I'm going to watch that bottom fold until it looks nice and flat and even. So right there looks pretty good to me, and we're looking at that bottom fold. It's laying nice and flat, and I have my selvages lined up, and all I did was slide the two pieces of fabric back and forth. You see I'm sliding it out of square again, and I'm going to slide it back, and you'll see how that fold lays nice and flat. That's how we want your quilt to be when it's finished. So we're going to square the fabric. I'm going to lay it on my table, keep my selvages lined up nice and straight. My fold is nice and straight. I'm going to take my fold, and I'm just going to bring the fold up to the selvage and line that up straight. Slide it back down to where I can reach it. And with my fingers in the second fold, I'm feeling for bumps or gaps or anything that's not laying flat. And if I feel something that's bumpy or lumpy, or a gap in there, I'm going to pick it up and do it again. That feels really nice. If you had a longer piece of fabric, you may have to fold it again, but this is enough for this size. Next, I'll show you where we cut it. Here we are at our cutting table, and I'm going to show you how to make your first cut to square your quilt backing. I have taken the first ruler, and I just picked a spot and lined it up along the fold, so that I can get a straight line. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my fabric layers, and I'm looking for the shortest layer. That's going to determine where I make my cut. Right here is my shortest layer, and I'm looking for that so that I make sure that I cut through all layers of fabric, and I don't want to take off any more than I need to, so I want to get pretty close to that. And before I make my cut, I'm going to take a second ruler to make sure I can reach the other end of my fold, and I want to make sure that this fold is lining up nice and straight as well. If this was not lining up straight, I would refold my fabric again to make sure that it's nice and square before I make my cut. But this looks good, so I'm going to go ahead and get my rotary cutter, and then I'm going to slide my ruler up, lining up the edge of the fabric to the edge of the ruler, and finish my cut. And here you can see there was quite a difference with the edges of the fabric, so it's a good thing that we made that square so everything will line up really nice and you'll get great longarm quilting results. This is Cindy Carey with North Star Longarm Quilting, and I hope you enjoyed our demo today on how to square your quilt backing.